This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So yesterday we have discussed about modifying the standard BAPIs. Now let us take one more example on standard BAPI. Based on that, we'll discuss BAPI extension on another transaction code. Already we have discussed BAPI extension on sales order. So let me take one more example. Before that, I'll try to use that particular standard BAPI. Based on that, we'll try to do the enhancement extension, BAPI extension. Okay, right. So we have the transaction code ME21. Okay, so related to purchase order. Let us take the BAPIs related to the purchase order. So I'll take the transaction code ME21. This is for creating the what purchase order. So as part of this transaction code, SAP might have provided many BAPIs. So let us identify the BAPI here, BAPIs. So if I go to SC93, so already we know the process of identifying the BAPIs in a transaction. So I'll go to SC93, in which T code we are looking for BAPIs ME21, that is create purchase order. So for this particular transaction code, identify the main program. So if I display, this is a program. If I double click on the program, for this particular program, let us collect the package name. So this is the program name. So the program is so and so. For this particular program, we need to identify the package of the program. What is the package of this particular program? If I choose go to attributes, yeah, we have the package here ME. So this is the transaction code related to module material management. So the package is ME. Done. So in this package, once we get the package, identify the business objects related to that particular package. So go to object navigator. Already we know all this process. So I'll go to object navigator SC80. Yeah, in this, from the drop down, I'll choose program. I'll give the, sorry, from the drop down, let us choose package. As part of this package, what is the package name? ME. So when I press enter, it will display the objects related to this particular package. So the package name is ME, right? So under this package ME, under this business engineering, we have what business object types. Business object types. So we have many business object types here. Okay, we have many business object type. So if I take this bus 2012, understood, this is related to what purchase order. So let me double click on this bus 2012. This is the business object bus 201 business object type. For this business object type, we have the business object as what purchase order. Okay, so for this particular business object, we have many API methods. So you can see we have many API methods. One of the API method is what create from data one. So if I double click on this, yeah, what is the BAPI function model? BAPI underscore PO underscore create one. So what is the business object type here? Bus 2012 is a bus 2012 is a business object type. For this business object type, the business object name is purchase order. So we have many business object type. I have taken this particular business object type bus 2012 related to the purchase order. So if I double click on this business object type, for this business object, this is the business, sorry, for this business object type, The business object is what? Purchase order. So let me document this. The business object is purchase order. So as part of every business object, we know we have many API methods. Many API methods. So one of the API method is, what is this? Create from data one. Create from data one. Okay, this is the API method name. Create from dat one, I think, not data one. Create from dat one. Sorry, data one only. So if I double click on this, what is the function model here? BAPI underscore PO underscore create one. Okay, so this is data one, and the BAPI function module is so on. So, okay, so BAPI underscore PO underscore create one. This is the function model. So let me go to what? If you go to SWO1 also, in SWO1, what is the business object type we have collected? Bus 2012. So it also will take the control to the same screen. Bus 2012 is a business object type. If I display, yeah, same business object type. Under this, we have the business object purchase order create from data one. Okay, so what is the function model? BAPI underscore PO underscore create one. So if I go to SC37 function builder, what is that? BAPI underscore PO underscore what? Create one. Okay, so this is the BAPI function model, right? So why I've taken this particular BAPI function model is, if I go to the import section or somewhere here in the tables section, I can see as part of this table section, we have a parameter what? Extension in. So I can discuss BAPI extension on top of this particular BAPI function model. That is the reason I have taken this extension in is there as well as extension out is there. Okay, right. So first, in order to use the extension in, first of all, we should know how to use this particular BAPI function model. So already we know the process. Whenever you come across, whenever you want to use any standard BAPI function model, what is the first thing you have to do? Analyze the, identify the mandatory parameters. So according to the import parameters, there is one mandatory parameter PO header, header data, BAPI MEPO header. Okay, and we have another parameter which is having what X. This will act as what? Indicators. Already we have seen, even though it is optional, we can set the indicators. So this is one mandatory import parameter. I believe it is a structure. If I double click on this BAPI MEPO header, yes, it is a structure. It has got around 61 fields. So I need to prepare a work area of this structure and pass. And if you see this BAPI MEPO header X, even though it is optional, we need to set the indicators. If I double click on this, yeah, it also has got around 61 fields. You can see most of the fields are what? Character of one, which will act as what? Indicators. Done. So according to the signature, this is the mandatory parameter. Done. Now let us go to export. So export, it is going to return me the created purchase document number. Whenever you call this particular BAPI function model, it will create what? Purchase order. Whatever the purchase order it has created, it is going to return that particular purchase order through this particular export parameter. Done. Changing, nothing is there. If I go to tables, yeah, in the tables also all are what? Optional. All are optional. So what I'll do is initially is I'll try to prepare only the mandatory parameters and try to pass the values for those parameters. Let's see whether it is sufficient to create the what? Purchase order. So as I told you, this is the purchase order which we collected from which transaction? ME21. So we need to coordinate with the MM consultant, that is the functional consultant, to understand how to navigate between the screens of this particular transaction code. You'll have many dependencies, so we may not be aware of those things. So functional consultant will guide you how to use this particular transaction code, or we have to sit with him and he will try to create a sample purchase order, and so that we can understand what are the minimum things we require to create the purchase order. He will provide some sample data in across many screens, and he will try to create the purchase order. So related to purchase order, we have some tables, just like sales order. We have what VBAK table, VBAP table. Similarly, related to purchase order also, we have the header tables and what item tables. Like EKKO is a header table, EKPO is a purchase order item table. So what I'll do is, before I use this particular function model, let me collect the number of entries in those particular tables. So if I go to ABAP dictionary, EKKO table, purchase document, header data. See, why we have to know all these things is, our agenda is what to extend this particular BAPI. Okay, we have to extend this particular standard BAPI. So for that, I need to consider this particular extension in. So blindly we cannot use this. Before we start using this parameter, first of all, I should be able to create the purchase order successfully. Then only we can see how to use this. Without creating the purchase order, there is no point in discussing this. That is the reason we have to do the R&D to understand what are the minimum parameters required to create a simple purchase order. So if I go to header table, purchase document header table, what are the key fields here? Purchase document number. Just like in VBAK table, we have VBLN, sales document number. In EKKO table, we have EBLN. What is this? Purchase document number, character of 10. If I go to contents, number of entries, 18,788 is the number of entries. So in the EKKO table, they are the number of entries. Let me collect it from EKPO table, that is the item table. So in the item table, what are the key fields here? EBLN and EBLP, purchase document number and item number of the purchase document. Okay, character of 10 and numC of what 5. So if I go to table contents, 33,452. 33,452. Done. Okay, these are the number of entries in the header and what item table. So according to the signature of this particular BAPI function model, there is only one mandatory parameter, that is header data. So I don't know whether this is sufficient to create the purchase order. And what is the other thing we know? We have to read the documentation related to this particular BAPI. How do we read the documentation? I'll put the cursor in the function model level. I'll choose the menu, go to documentation. Okay, if I choose go to documentation, yeah, create the purchase order. Function model BAPI underscore PO underscore create one enables you to create the purchase orders. The BAPI uses the technology behind the enjoy purchase order transaction ME21. So related to purchase order only, we have another T code called as enjoy purchase order creation ME21N. Alternatively, the IDOC type. So it is talking about IDOC type. We don't know anything about IDOC at this stage. I'll just leave it. Okay, authorization, controlling, transfer. Acha. You can see it. It is telling you what are the minimum things we require to transfer. What they are saying, a transfer what? Header data. We have to transfer the header data. The header data of the enjoy purchase order is transferred in the table what? PO header. So if you see this function model, actually this is not a table, it is a work area. It is under import section. It is expecting a work area of this structure, but in the documentation they gave it as table. It is not table, it is a work area. So I need to transfer the header data. Then they're also telling about the item data. The item data of the enjoy purchase order is stored in the table PO item. PO item. So if you see here in the tables section, we have a parameter what PO item. It is an internal table, but they mark it as what optional. But the documentation is saying to pass the item data. The delivery schedule lines are stored in the table PO schedule. So this is item data and this is the schedule data. So schedule data is available in which parameter you see PO schedule. This is also what optional. So according to the documentation, they are asking us to pass the header data and item data, schedule data, all those things. So you can see they give information about other things also, like services and limits, conditions, like that. They are saying they are not telling them as mandatory, but they are saying to transfer these things. Okay, done. So like this, you have to read this particular documentation. Yeah. See here, example. They give some sample data also. For the parameter PO header, they give some sample data, company code. Actually, if you see this PO header, try to understand. If you go to import section, PO header is a structure of type so and so. If I double click on this, so I need to prepare a work area which contains how many fields? 61 fields. In that 61 fields, right? I don't know for what fields I need to set the data. So we have to coordinate with the functional consultant to understand what are the minimum fields required for creating the purchase order. Understood? We will not set the data for all the 61 fields. No? We may set the data only for few fields. So for what fields you have to set, that we have to collect that information from the functional consultant. Otherwise also in the documentation also they are clearly saying they are the minimum fields like company code, document type, item interval, like this, payment terms, purchase organization, purchase group, currency. They give some sample data here. Similarly, you can see PO header X. They act as indicators. No? Here, this is the parameter which carries the actual data. This is the parameter which carries the indicators. So we have to set the indicators also. Similarly, for item internal table also, they give the fields. Understood? So we must refer to the documentation. Am I clear? So every time we may not be able to rely on the functional consultant. Okay? We have to also read the documentation. But even after reading the documentation, if you don't find suitable information, you have to coordinate with the functional consultant. So they give some sample data like this. You have to read all these things. Okay? So first, what I'll do is the approach I'll follow is so from by reading the documentation, they are not telling what are the mandatory parameters. Just they are saying to transfer these things. So first what I'll do is I'll try to pass only the mandatory parameters. Let's see whether it is sufficient to create the purchase order or not. Okay, so let us call this particular BAPI now. So I'll take something 8. Right, type of program is what? Executable program. Right, so first what I'll do is I'll prepare what purchase order header data. Okay, I'll prepare the purchase order header data. So for this, I need to prepare a work area of, it's a mandatory parameter. I need to prepare a work area of which type? BAPI MEPO header. BAPI MEPO header. So let me prepare it. W underscore PO header type what? So and so. Done. Okay. Then here I need to set the data for some of the fields. No? So this structure is carrying how many fields? Around what? 61 fields. Out of 61 fields, for what fields I need to provide the data? I don't know. As an ABAP consultant, I don't know what are the fields I need to set. So we have to coordinate with the functional consultant. And if you see the documentation also, in the documentation, if I scroll down, yeah, what are the fields here? Company underscore code, document type, item underscore interval, okay, item underscore interval, vendor, payment terms, purchase organization, purchase group, currency, something they gave. Okay, they are this is the data they gave. Okay, so what I'll do is, so here I'll say, observe here, I'll try to set the data for this. So W underscore what? PO header hyphen company code equal to so and so. Okay, it's a character field, so I need to put it in what single quotes. Done. Then W underscore PO header hyphen document type equal to NB. Okay. Then W underscore PO header hyphen item interval equal to so and so it seems. So I'll just set what are the values are there in the documentation. I'll just try to provide that. W underscore PO header hyphen vendor equal to, it is also character field. Understood? So how do I know those are character fields? If you double click on this, it has got 61 fields. So company code is what? Character of 4. Document type is what? Character of 4. Understood? Then what vendor item interval is what? Numc, which also comes under character family. Character of 5. Vendor is what? Character of 10. Okay, like this. Purchase organization, it is character of 4. Okay, purchase group, what is this? Character of 3. Okay, currency, what is this currency here? Currency key of what? 5. It also comes under character field. Okay, done. So let me try to set this data. W underscore PO header hyphen payment terms. It is also character field. W underscore PO header hyphen purchase organization equal to 1000. Then W underscore PO header hyphen purchase group. W underscore PO header hyphen currency equal to something euro. Done. So out of 61 fields, I'm providing the data for some of the fields. I don't know whether this is valid data. I don't know whether these are the minimum fields that I need to set. Just I'm going with the documentation. Then what is the other mandatory parameter here? This is actually optional, but if you want, you can pass this. They act as what indicators. Na? So let us try to pass these indicators also. Okay. So I'll prepare a work area of what type? BAPI MEPO header X. Okay. So here I'll say, what is the next step here? Prepare PO header data indicators. Done. So I'll say data W underscore PO header X type what? MEPO header X. Done. So what are the values I've set? For those values, I'll try to set the indicators for these fields. I'll just copy this as this. PO header X. Done. Company code equal to, I'll say X. So all these values, I'll try to set it to what? X. Done. So indicators are prepared. right? Let me cross check these fields: company code, document type, item interval, vendor, payment terms, all those things. So if I double click on this, so in this also we have the fields. What is this? Company code, all are character fields, character of one, document type, item interval, vendor, right? Payment terms, character of one, purchase organization, character of one, purchase group, character of one, currency, character of one. So all the fields are available and they carry the indicators. So I prepared that particular indicators. Done. Okay. Okay. Up to this is fine. Then what is the signature of the function module? It is going to return me the purchase document number. If the purchase order is successfully created, it is going to return the purchase document number. I am interested to receive that. So generally export parameters are what? Optional. Depending on the requirement, we will import. So I'm interested to import the generated purchase document number. So let me declare a variable of this type. Data v underscore purchase document number type so and so. Done. Then every BAPI will contain the return parameter. So if I go to export, I don't have tables. Yes, it might return multiple messages. That's why they gave it in the form of internal table. So return parameter is what type? BAPI ret2. So let me declare it. So here I'll say data t underscore return type table of BAPI ret2. For I need to loop this internal table, so I require a work area. Done. Right. So I'll try to create the purchase order. So according to the signature, we have only one mandatory import parameter which we prepared. Even though this is optional, I passed it because they are acting as what indicators. In the documentation also, they are preparing that indicators. So with that knowledge, with that analysis, I pass that particular optional parameter also, and other parameters are what? Optional anyhow. So let us try to create the purchase order. So what is the BAPI underscore PO underscore create one. So let me use the pattern BAPI underscore PO underscore create one exporting PO header equal to what is that header I prepared W underscore PO header. Indicators also we have prepared. Let me pass that W underscore PO header X. Done. And all these are optional. Any of you are not prepared. I'm removing all these things. Importing, export becomes import. It is going to return me the generated purchase document number. So I'll receive this inside the variable v underscore PO number. Done. And I'm interested in the return status also. Return equal to what is the internal table t underscore what? Return. T underscore return. That's it. Huh? Yeah, t underscore return. All these are optional. Right, and already we know whenever you're working with any standard BAPIs, we need to check whether we have any parameter which is doing the implicit commit. If SAP is doing the implicit commit, we should not call the function model BAPI underscore transaction underscore commit. So if you see the signature of this function model in the import section, I don't have any parameter which is talking about commit or rollback. Earlier, we have seen some function models which is going to do the implicit commit. So for those function model calls, we are not calling the function model BAPI transaction commit. SAP itself is going to do the implicit commit. So here I don't have any parameter related to that. Understood? I don't have any parameter related to the commit. In the export, anyway, it will not be there. I'll go to tables. Yeah, here also I don't have any parameter which is talking about the commit work. So let us do the external commit, and that is done by calling the function model what? BAPI underscore transaction underscore what? Commit. BAPI underscore transaction underscore commit. Done. So all are optional parameters. I'm just calling this. Right. let us try to display the status. BAPI execution status. I will loop the internal table, loop at t underscore written into w underscore written. I'll say write w underscore, okay, I'll print the status type. What are the fields in this? Already we know w underscore written hyphen type, which will contain either information, warning, error, success, abort, whatever it is. Okay, so I'm printing that information w underscore written hyphen message. That's it. Okay, close the loop, end loop. Okay, I'll switch off the color, format color off. So what is the approach we are following? We have prepared only the mandatory parameters and we are trying to call the BAPI function model. Let us see whether it will create the purchase order or not. If it is successfully created, it will return the generated purchase document number which you are printing. No, we are not printing. So let me print it. Okay. So here I'll say after doing this BAPI transaction commit, generated PO number, purchase order number is, what is the variable? V underscore PO number. Done. Okay, let me, yeah, I'll print it here only. Done. No syntax errors. Let us try to execute this. So already we collected the number of entries in the header table and item table. And if you observe here, while calling this BAPI, we are supplying only the header data. We are not supplying the item data. So what happens? Even if the purchase order is created, the entries will be stored only in the header table, that is in the EKKO table. So let us see whether this is sufficient to create the purchase order or not. So I'll activate execute. Good. Generated PO number is blank. What is the BAPI execution status? Type is what? E means what? Error. Error. It is giving a message saying that no instance of the object type purchase order has been created. Type E message. Document contains no items. Document contains no items. So from the error, what I understand is, in order to use this particular BAPI function model, I should also pass the item data. Am I clear? Document contains no items. And I got some warnings also. Please enter items first. So what is the analysis here? Just header data is not sufficient. We should also pass the item data. If you have remembered, 3-4 days back, before discussing the BAPI extension, we have seen one BAPI related to sales order, BAPI underscore sales order underscore create from dat 2. Okay, so there initially I pass the header data. It is creating the entries only in the header table. Then I pass header data and item data. It is creating the entry in the item table also. But here, related to this BAPI, items might be mandatory. That's why it is giving the error. Please enter items first. But according to the signature, the item data is marked as what? Optional. Item data is marked as optional. But by executing, we understood that item data also is what required. Okay, so it is ruled out. So what I'll do is, instead of deleting this, I'll put this as case 1. Okay, purchase order creation only, purchase order creation only with what? Header data. Header data. What happens here? It is leading to what? Error. Error, no items. Understood? this is leading to what? Error. Leads to error as there are no items. Understood? So for this particular BAPI, I should also prepare the item data. That's why it is giving the error. So I'll just comment this. Instead of deleting this, I'll comment this whole thing. Control C. Right. I'll put it as case 2. I just copied it. So previous, when you're practicing, you uncomment and practice so that you'll get the error message. Understood? So what I'll do now, I'll try to case 2. What I'll do now, purchase order creation with what? Header and what? Item data. I'll pass both header data and item data. I don't know whether it will be successful or not. So let me prepare this. So as usual, first I have to prepare the PO header data. Then I have to prepare the indicators. Done, 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 done here. Somewhere here. According to the error we got, we have to pass the items also now. So let me prepare an internal table because it is under tables. I need to prepare an internal table of type what BAPI MEPO item. So let me declare the internal table here. Data T underscore PO items type table of so and so. So to prepare the internal table, I require a work area. Let me declare the work area also. Done. Okay, right. So I'll say clear W underscore PO items. So this internal table, what is the structure of this internal table? Right? If I double click on this BAPI MEPO item, right? If I double click on this, it is a structure which has got 173 fields. So again, I don't know for what fields I need to provide the data. So again, the same thing, we have to coordinate with the functional consultant to understand what are the minimum fields I need to configure. Okay, so let me check the documentation and check what are the fields they are supplying. It has got 173 fields. So let me refer to the documentation. Already it is open now. Yeah, somewhere here. Yeah, you can see here. They're passing this thing. PO item, material, plant, storage location, quantity, tax code, item category, something account assessment category. We don't know what are these fields, but these are the minimum fields they are trying to give. Okay. So I'll try to pass the same thing. Might be all are character fields only. Let me cross check. If I go to this PO item, yeah, most of them are character. PO item num seeds, which comes under character fields. Yes, most of them are what character only done. So I'll just copy this from the documentation. W underscore PO items hyphen. Okay, done. All since all are character fields, I'm enclosing them in single quotes. Done. I'll say append W underscore PO items to the internal table TU underscore PO items. Done. Okay, so this is what prepare PO item data. Na? This is prepare PO item data. Then similarly, I need to prepare the indicators also. Prepare PO item indicators. Yeah. So what are the indicators here? We have another parameter related to the indicator. It is also optional. So let me prepare an internal table of type so and so. Data what? T underscore PO items X type what? Table of so and so. Then I require a work area PO items X type what so and so. Done. Okay. Then what else I have to do? Yeah, I need to set the indicators now. So I'll just copy this as it is. But okay. Acha. If you see the documentation also, observe this carefully. See the analysis here. If you take the header indicators, all are set to X. All are set to X. And this is item data. If you see the item data indicators, for PO item, they are giving the value. For other fields, they are setting it to X. You understood? In case of header, all the fields indicators, they are setting it as what? X. In case of PO item, what they are doing for PO item, they are supplying the value, and for other fields they give it as what? X. Why like that? If you observe this parameter BAPI MEPO item X, if you double click on this, yeah, if you see here PO item is not character of one, it is numC of I. So this in this parameter also we have to supply the value for PO item. For other fields you have to set it to what? X. Am I clear? So you have to
That is
keep
maybe
all
linked
this.
to together.
Yeah, might be. Okay. So we have to pass the value there. We have to pass the value, not the indicator. So let us copy the same thing. Right. So here I'll say clear what? W underscore PO items X. Then this is value and the rest of the things are what? X. Done. Okay. So save it. Append PO items X to T underscore PO items X. So I prepared the indicators for what? Item data also. Done. So now let us call it. I'm calling the BAPI function mode. The only change is in the tables section, I need to pass these two parameters also. What are the two parameters? One is PO item, another is PO item X. PO item equal to what are the internal table we prepared T underscore PO items. And another parameter is PO item X. This is T underscore PO items X. That's it. Save it. Check for the syntax error. Activate this. Yeah, that's it. So let's see whether this is okay to create the purchase order or not. So what is the change I've done? In the first execution, we are supplying only the header data. We got the BAPI error message saying that we should also supply the items. So we have analyzed the documentation. We understood what are the minimum fields we have to pass related to the items. So I'm trying to pass it. So let's see whether this is okay or not. So I pass the item data as well as the indicators. Done. So let's see we'll create or not. No syntax error. Done. Execute this. F8. Oh my God. BAPI execution status. I got an error saying that purchase order one contains faulty account assignments. Enter cost center. Okay, I got an error saying that enter cost center. Okay, these are all the functional issues. Okay, so we have to coordinate with the functional consultant and enter these particular values. Okay. So what I'll do is, so even after supplying the item data also, it is not creating the purchase order. It is saying that to enter some cost center kind of thing. So I'll do one small changes here. Okay. Yeah, this is the case one. This is case two where they are passing the header and item data. They're also asking us to enter the what? Cost center. Okay, so instead of entering the cost center, already I collected this information. Just observe here. What is the change I'll do is, okay, okay. Once again, I'll do one thing. What I just copied these values from the documentation, right? So I gave the plant 1000 story location as something, what, 0001, all those things. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll cross check whether this data is available in my system or not, right?
Or any PO is created with this document type, you can check, Sridhar.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. That's
Based
what.
on that, in MA23 and will give
Document type. What is the document type I give? NB.
NB.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go to EKKO table, right? In the EKKO table, you can see purchase document type is there. What is this? BSART. So I'll go to contents. I'll choose settings, fields for selection, purchase document type. I'll browse this.
NB.
Yeah, once it is configured here, yes, done. It is there. Number of entries, yes, there are many purchase orders with the document type is what NB. So if I execute, it is going to show me some 200 purchase orders here, initial 200 purchase orders done. So we have many purchase orders. Okay, the plant here is there, 1000 is there. Okay, purchase
1000 is
document numbers.
company code. 1000 is.
Yeah, this is company code. This is NB. Okay, fine. So I'll do one thing. I'll take one of the purchase order 414-0100. I'll go to the item data. So the item data,
You
I'll
can
say
take
4.
same euro currency PO. Then only maybe it's good.
Acha, from the header data, you want me to collect only euro currency, yeah?
Correct.
One second, one second. So if you see here in the header table, what is the currency field here?
WERKS something it is.
Yeah, yeah. Currency key. This one, WARS.
Yeah.
WARS. Okay, so I'll go to contents, fields for selection. Oh, sorry. What is the currency key I gave? Euro I gave. Huh? Yeah, euro. $6,686. Okay. So we have many entries, no problem. Right. So I'll take this one, first one, 41. Actually, I'm having the data, but let me cross check like this also. 414-0102. So I'll go to the item table, 414-01-02 and execute. Yeah, this is the item data. So in the item data also, one second. We'll just go back. Settings, format list, choose fields. I'm not interested in all the fields. Let me deselect. I'll take purchase document number, item number. I'll take the material number. Okay, I'll take the plant. I'll take the storage location. Okay, and I'll take the net price. Okay, done. Let me execute. Okay, what are the plants here? Okay, they are the plants. 1100. Huh? What I gave here in the item data, 1000 I gave. Okay, material number is so and so. Okay, once again, I collected one material. I'll just choose settings, fields for selection. What is that material? EMS, something is MSA. Oh, yeah, I'm having that material done. Execute. Yeah. Okay. So MSA-2000. What is the plant here? 3200. Story location can be kept space. Okay. Can be kept space. Okay. So I'll do one thing. So I've just collected the entries from the existing, I collected the data from the existing entries, 3200. So I'll do some changes in my this thing. So here, if you take the header data, what are the fields you are passing here? Company code I passed. Okay, document type I passed. Vendor I passed. Vendor 1000 is there. Vendor I didn't collected that. One second, vendor. Yeah, 1000 is there. 1000 is there. No problem. Done. Then I gave some payment terms. Purchase organization 1000 done. Currency 0 done. This is okay. Let me go to the item table. So I'll give the material number as something. Item number is 001. I'll give the material number as what? MSA hyphen what? 2000. Yeah, MSA hyphen 2000. Done. Next plant. What is the plant here? 3200, and you can again space also. LG or I can give space. So plant I'll give it as something 3000. Okay, storage location I can keep it blank because I've seen some of the entries there. I'll give some quantity. I'll not enter this tax code, all those. Because of this tax code only, it is asking that cost center, all those things. I'll just try to comment this tax code. Okay, item category also I'll comment this. Account assessment category also I'll comment. I'm not passing the values for because of this only it is asking for the dependent data like cost center. So in the item data I gave PO item, I gave the material, plant I gave, done story location, quantity, anything done. Then what else I collected here? Net
Now the
price.
item category is mandatory, sir.
Let's see because item category is mandatory. Let's see. At least if it is creating the header and item, that is sufficient for me. So I'll do one
Okay.
thing. Okay, quantity, item price. Na? One second. If I go to
And
the
plant is
item,
3,200 or 3,000 only?
what I give?
Plant.
Oh, sorry, 3,200. 3,200. Correct. Not 3,000, 3,200. Done. Okay, so next is what? Net price. So if you go to this, quantity I gave. Yeah, what is this field here? Net underscore price. Net underscore price. So let me try to pass the net price also. So here I'll say W underscore PO items hyphen net underscore price equal to, it is a numeric field. I'll give some value. Done. Then all, I'm not supplying this item tax code, item category, and account assessment category. Done. And the indicators also. Yeah, in the indicators also, this is material is X, plant is X, storage location is at X, quantity is X. Let me comment this 3 because I'm not supplying the values. What is the other field I entered there? Net price. So here I'll say W underscore PO items X hyphen net underscore price equal to what? X. PO item, material, plant, storage location, quantity, net price. I feel these are the minimum things, but let me check. Item category is required or not. Okay, done. Yeah, that's it. Let's try to create this. No errors. Execute. Yeah, still I got the error. Purchase organization 1000 not responsible for plant 3200. Okay, so I got the issue in the purchase organization. So in the header data, what is the purchase organization I gave? 1000 I gave now. So it is giving me the issue. So what I'll do is purchase organization 1000. No? Format list, choose fields. I'm not interested in all the fields. Let me deselect. I'll select only what? Purchase document number. I'll select company code. Company code also not required. Company code I'll select. Document type I'll select. Let me select the vendor. Okay, I'll select what else I require here. Yeah, purchase organization I'll select. Purchase group I'll select. I'll select the currency. Okay, apply. Yeah, execute. Okay, 1000 is there now. Okay, 1000 is there. Okay, what is the other purchase organization? 3000. I'll try to give 3000 because some dependencies are there. So randomly I'll do one thing. Instead of 1000, I'll try to give 3000. Let's see whether it's okay or not. What is the vendor I gave here? 1000 I gave. Vendor. Yeah, Lifnar. Okay. For 3000, what is the vendor here? 5550. I'll try to give the valid values for corresponding entries. So I'll try to give what? 5550. I collected this information from the existing entries. Okay. document company code I gave. Acha, what are the company codes I gave here? 1000 is there. What is the company code? 3000. Ah, okay. Let me give the company code. Understood. For this entry, I'm taking the corresponding entry. Company code is also 3000. So here I'll give the company code as 3000. I don't think item interval is required. I'll just comment this. Company code I gave, document type I gave, vendor I gave, payment terms also not required, I think so. Let me comment this. Okay, purchase organization, purchase group I gave, done currency. So here also, since I'm not supplying the item interval, I will not set the indicator. Payment terms also I'll ignore. Vendor, purchase organization, done. Understood. So what I did is for the purchase organization 3000, 1000 has got some dependencies. So I've collected another purchase organization. For that, I have taken the corresponding vendor and I've taken the corresponding company code. So let's see whether it'll create or not. Anything else? Yeah, let's cross check. F8. Ah, good. Okay. I got further some warnings kind of thing. Leave it. But you can see here generated purchase order number is what? 45000 22398. Okay, 45000, right? So what is that? 45000 22398. 22398 is a created purchase document number. Okay, yeah. S means what? Success. Standard purchase order created under the number so and so. Type information. Net price for item 10 adopted from last document. So some information message, fine, leave it. So purchase order is successfully created. Okay, let me go and check the entries in the table. So if you go to VBAK table, let me remove this. Number of entries. How many are there? 18, 18789. 18789. Yes. Okay, there is a change in what? One of the entry. 18789. What is the purchase document number? 45000 22398. Let me check for that entry in the EKKO table. That is in the header table. Execute. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Company code. What is this? Vendor. So on. So on. So done. Successfully created. Let me check the item table. So if I go to EKPO table, item table, let me remove this. Number of entries. How many are there? 33453. 33453. Yes, we have given only one item data na? So 33453. This is the purchase document number. So if I query for that in the item table EKPO, yes, MSA 2001, item number is 10, plant is 3200, storage location I gave blank, net price I gave out 112. So successfully created. So in your systems also, just try to provide this kind of data. Understood? Go to the EKKO table, EKPO table, check for the existing entries. Try with different combinations till you get it. Okay, done. So the purchase order is what? Successfully created. It is created with what? Header data and what? Item data. Now what is the next agenda? We cannot discuss now. We are out of time. But still, see here. If you go back to this particular BAPI function model, so far what you have done as part of this function model call, we are supplying the data only for what? Standard parameters, that is the standard fields. What are the data you have passed here? These are all the standard fields given by what? SAP only. Na? So BAPI extension means what? In the table, we are going to add what? Additional fields. Okay, for that additional fields, we should able to supply the data through what? BAPI, through transaction, through IDOC. Now, as of now, we are focusing on what? BAPI. So, last example, if you have remembered, sales order related extension, we have considered the parameter what extension in. We read the documentation. Na? So, we have enhanced some VBAK table. Just enhancing the table is not sufficient. What I told, I need to enhance the corresponding dependent structures. How do you know the dependent structures? Only by reading the documentation. So if you see the documentation here, anything related to extension in here, yeah, you can see under parameter section, yeah, and the parameter section, you can see we have the parameter what? Extension in. If you click on this, good. So you can see here, they gave some documentation. You have to read, analyze, and accordingly you have to enhance. So what is saying here? This table allows you to add to the import parameters of the BAPI without modifying it. The customer enhancement allows you to add or modify so on. So adapting existing SAP database table, adding what? Customer specific fields to what? SAP tables. So we need to what? Add the customer specific fields to SAP table. So related to purchase order, what are the two tables? There are many tables. What are the two tables we have identified? EKKO and what? EKPO. So in one of the table, we need to add the additional fields. Okay. And you can see they gave the dependent structures information also. The following BAPI table extensions are available. What is this? BAPI underscore T underscore MEPO header, etc. Okay, you can see here. If you're adding the fields in the header table, they are the two structures I need to enhance. What are they? BAPI underscore T underscore MEPO header. If you're adding the data in the item table, you have to enhance this particular two structures. Understood? So without reading the documentation, we will not get an idea what are the dependent structures we have to enhance. So compulsory, we have to add the additional fields in the original table as well as in the dependent structures. So last class, what you have done in the which table I've added? Some VBAK table we have added. How to add the fields in the standard table? I told that first you have to check for what? Customer include. But in that table, we didn't add the customer include. So we have added the additional fields by using what? Append structure. Suppose assume that I want to enhance this particular table EKKO. So we cannot directly open this in change mode, na? Right? It will ask you for what? Access key. So how do we plug the additional fields in this standard table? First check for the existence of what? CA include, customer include. So if I click on the find button, if I say CA underscore, that is customer include. Good. You can see here, we have this include CA underscore EKKODB. Understood? So since this customer include is available, first you have to add the fields in this. So we need to double click on this and add the additional fields. If this include is not there, last example we have went for what? Append structure, but always priority is given to what? Customer include. So in this I have to add. After adding the additional fields, we need to enhance the dependent structures also. Then while calling the BAPI, we need to prepare an internal table of what type extension in, which is a what structured BAPI parade. So even if you see right hand side, we have the documentation. If I click on this, yeah, they clearly gave the documentation. Same thing. Understood. So we need to, what is the structure of BAPI per X? Last example you have seen. We have something what structure value part 1 to value part 4, I think. If you double click on this, yes, you can see structure value part 1 to value part 4. So what are the additional fields we are adding? That additional fields cannot exceed more than 960 characters. More than 960 characters. 240 plus 240 plus 240, around what? 960 characters. Even if you try to add more than 960, it will not give any error, but it will consider only up to what? 960 characters. The concatenation of the additional fields should not exceed more than 960 characters. So try to create the purchase order with some sample data. In case if this data doesn't work, go to the EKKO table and EKPO table, check the corresponding entries and try to pass that particular data with a different combination. Then at some stage you'll get the data. You'll get the purchase order created. Okay, so I'll stop now. Any questions? No questions? Fine. So tomorrow around 6:15 I will continue with the cross app session. Okay. Chalo. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.